So hello guys, we are now in 003 applied mathematics. We are done with calculus already. Now look at something here. Question 2019 question 5a. A question came out 2019 question 5b. Another question. There are some other ones that I will still write on the board, but let's solve these two first. What are we talking about in this case? We are talking on motion on an inclined plane. Now let me explain something to you first. Now look at it. Whenever you have motion on an inclined plane, that means this is motion on an inclined plane, or whenever you hear inclined plane in applied maths, look at what happened. When you have something like this, when they say an object is placed on an inclined plane of angle theta, this is what it means. Now let me tell you, the component downward this way is always mg sine theta. Now let's take a look at something here. The weight of the object here is downward, the weight, and weight is mg. That's why you see me write mg. Do you understand? So now this is always true for inclined plane. So please pay attention to what I'm explaining here. Weight always acts downward. Do you understand? The component downward, that is the component of force downward, is mg sine theta. Please take note of that. It is always mg sine theta. Do you understand? And this is force. This is force. You might be given the force, or you might be told to find force. Now, in reality, if this object is not moving, that means that mg sine theta and this force are the same. If this one is greater than this one, it will be moving downward. If mg sine theta is greater than the force applied to this object, will be moving downward. But if for the force is greater than mg sine theta, it will be what? Moving upward. Do you understand my point? So that is it. And the normal reaction, this is normal reaction. Do you understand? Normal reaction is exactly equal to mg cos theta. Do you understand? So normal reaction is exactly equal to mg cos theta. Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? So now, what happens next is that this force now, if we are not talking about a rough surface, when you hear of a rough surface, what should come to your mind is that friction. There must be friction, coefficient of friction or frictional force. And don't forget, friction opposes what? Relative motion. Friction opposes relative motion. So what am I trying to say? If this object is moving down, frictional force will act in this direction. We call it Fk, frictional force. But if this object is moving up, frictional force will act in the opposite direction. Do you understand? So it depends on where this object is moving to. If it's moving down, frictional force will oppose the relative motion, right? If it's moving up, frictional force will act downward. Do you understand what I'm trying to say on an inclined plane? Now, and there is one more thing you need to know, that the summation of forces, this is very important too. Summation of forces must be equal to what? MA. You know, F is equal to MA. So when you are talking about resolution of forces, summation of forces must always be equal to MA. This is very, very important to solve questions like this. Do you understand? And the mechanism is very simple, especially if you understand physics. If you understand the PHS 001 very well, this one won't be a problem at all. Do you get my point? So this one won't be a problem for you at all. But then, if you don't understand it, or if you don't understand it, please pay attention to what I'm doing here. You will get it clearly. Do you understand? Now let's start. A block of mass 3.5 kg rests on a rough plane which is inclined at an angle of what? 42 degrees to the horizontal. If the coefficient of friction between the block and the plane is 0.75, what is the least force speed parallel to the plane required to start moving the block up the plane? Now, let us see. Whenever you are given this type of question, this is 10 marks. And this is the big part. This is 5 marks. So this is the whole of 50 marks. That means if you can answer this, you are done with 003, like the question on 003 now. But pay attention to what I want to say now. Now, listen. In this case, because it might also be asking objective, so please pay attention. Now, whenever you are given this type of question in theory especially, draw diagram. whenever you are dealing with mechanics question, please, and you read the question and it involves diagram, please draw it. It is part of the marks you might get. Do you understand? If you don't draw diagram, you might lose a point. I don't know, but I'm not the examiner. But then draw a diagram. It is better to draw it and there is no point for it than not to draw it and there is a point for it. Do you understand now? Look at it. It's already obvious that it's on and what which is inclined at an angle of 42 degrees. Look at what we happen. And we have let me draw it. This one is just to explain. So the angle here is 42 degrees. Let this one be the object. A block of mass 3.5 kg. This is 3.5 kg. Right? Do you understand? Now, I told you before, the component acting downward is what? mg sine theta. This is how you draw the diagram. The one coming down here is mg. That is the weight vertically downward. But then the normal reaction, as I've explained here, comes this way, r, and this one is also mg cos theta. Now, F. This is the force of, let me call it P, since that's what they are asking to do. Whenever you see, if you draw these things, if you draw this thing like this, even though you don't know, it's just like, let me just draw this one. The lecturer will feel you know what you are doing. Now, take the parameters you have. You are given m to be equal to 3.5 kg, right? You are given that. Theta is 42 degrees, right? And the coefficient of friction, it is written this way. Coefficient of friction is 0.75. Now, you are given gravity. Acceleration due to gravity 9.8 meters per second square. Now, what will happen here? What will happen here is that, don't forget, look at the first equation. What is the least force P parallel to the plane required to start moving the object up the plane? I told you before, summation of forces must be equal to what? MA. This thing is summation. Summation of forces must be equal to MA. What does that mean now? For the object to be moving up the plane, what does that mean? It means that, oh, they want me to even, it is not yet time to use this one, actually. It is not yet time to use this one. Do you get my point? Now, there is something I want to show you here. It is not yet time to use summation of forces equal MA. It is when you are asked to find acceleration. It is when you are asked to find acceleration or velocity. That's when you'll be using MA. But now, look at it. What is the least force P parallel to the plane required to start moving the block up the plane? So that means for this block to move up the plane, it means that P must be greater than the force pulling it. No, I told you here that if this thing is moving upward, it means that the force is greater than this one. But if it's coming down, it means this one is greater than this one. If it's staying there, it means this one and this one are the same. That is why it's not moving. The same thing here. The minimum force must be the force that must be equal to this one at least. Do you understand? If you want to allow this block to move upward, the minimum force is the force. That means this, no, I told you before, if this block is moving upward, it means that this P must be greater than the force here. It must be greater than what? The force here. Do you understand? So the minimum force will just be, now look at what I'm trying to say. The minimum force means the lowest force you can have. The lowest force will be the force that must be equal to this to the component here, to the component drawing it down. Do you understand? And don't forget, frictional force is here now. Now, don't forget, they are giving coefficient of friction. Listen and listen good. Start moving the object up the plane. If the object is moving up the plane, what does that mean? It means that frictional force is acting what? Opposite the motion. It means if frictional force is acting downward, the downward force. So that means this speed that they want me to find, the minimum, like the minimum force, they want me to find minimum force. The minimum force must be equal to, this is up. It has to, I told you, for it to move up, this one has to be greater than or equal to what is here. Do you get that? So the minimum was at least be equal to this. It can never be less, because if this one is less, the object will be coming down. Do you understand? So minimum force has to be equal to, like, action and reaction are equal and opposite. So this place must be equal to this place at least. So that means mg sine theta plus the frictional force. But what is frictional force? Frictional force is actually coefficient of friction times what? The normal reaction. What is normal reaction? Mg. So that means frictional force is equal to coefficient of friction mg. That's what we have here. So that means the minimum force we have here, we have to be mg sine theta plus frictional force mg. Oh, mg cos theta. I'm sorry. Our normal reaction is mg cos theta. I've told you before. So Fk equal mu k mg cos theta. So you put in values. M is what? 3.5. 3.5 multiplied by gg is 9.8. Sine what? Theta. Sine 42 degrees. Plus mu. Mu is 0.75. Multiplied by m, that's 3.5. G is what? 9.8. You just multiplying cos what? 42. So calculator we help you solve all these ones here. You will use calculator to solve all these ones sharp. You have 3.5 times 9.8, right? Sine 42. Press your calculator too, please. Press your calculator to get the answer. Plus so at the end of the day, the answer is 42.07 Newton, approximately to 2 decimal places. That is the minimum force, right? That is the minimum force in this place. Now, number 2 question. Look at this is 2019. No, this is last year past question, 2019, question 5A. Now say, what is the least force parallel to the plane to prevent the block from sliding down the plane? The force to prevent the block from sliding down the plane. What does that mean? To prevent the block from sliding down the plane means that this thing wants to come downward, but there is a force that is pulling it back. Do you understand? And what is the component? See now, I want to show you something now for this second example. The component of force that is pulling this thing down the plane is mg sine theta. Do you understand? What is holding it from pulling down is P. But now, then I say prevent the block from sliding down. If the block, that means the block wants to slide down, that is, it wants to slide down. That means the motion of the block is in this direction. Friction opposes relative motion. Frictional force will now be acting this way now, backward. Do you understand? So that means that if this thing wants to come downward, the force that is preventing this block from sliding downward is this P and frictional force. So the force, that means that P plus frictional force is equal to mg sine theta. At least that will be the minimum force. Don't forget. Why we are equating them is because that is the minimum. Find the least. Least means minimum force. So that means this force that I'm looking for will now be equal to mg sine theta minus what? Fk. Do you understand what I'm doing now? So now what happened here, again let me explain to you, is this is what is that wants to bring it down. So the force that is trying to bring it down is mg sine theta. What is preventing it from falling? If you look at it that way, the only thing that is preventing it from falling is this Fk. So subtract that means that you need to put another force. If it's just the frictional force that is pulling, that is trying to take this, that's trying to hold this thing from falling, it will actually fall. It will actually slide. There must be another force that must come here to hold it. So the question is now that they are asking what is that least force. That is the question they are asking. What is that least force? And this is what we got. The least force will be mg sine theta minus Fk. So, and that means that P will be equal to mg sine theta minus what? I've explained this one before, mg cos theta. Please, if this question comes out in your exam, you must be able to answer it. If you cannot answer it, don't come outside from the hall. Stay there until you answer it. Do you understand? Now, mg, of course, this is 3.5. You can from here you can solve. You can factorize mg. If you can factorize or put in the value straight, use calculator and get your answer. mg 3.5 times 9.8 sine what? Sine 42 minus mu is 0.75 multiplied by what? M 3.5 times 9.8 cos what? 42. So P will be equal to, again you use calculator to get the minimum force. You use calculator to get the minimum force there. So the minimum force I have here is actually equal to 3.83 Newton. That is the minimum force. And since once I can do this one, I am done. I'm done. I should have my 10 marks. Do you understand? That is all. Now, 2019 question 5B. Listen to the question. A body of mass 100 kg is placed in a lift. Find the reaction between the floor of the lift and the body when the lift moves upward with an acceleration of 3.5 meters per second square. Take G to be this. Now let me show you. Draw diagram. Let this place be the lift. Right? You have there's something here. So what is pulling? You can just put the mass 10 kg inside here. Say a body of mass 10 kg. Or any way you can draw it that will make sense. Now listen. Don't go and do creative art inside the mathematics examination hall. Just draw. Don't go and start drawing and show creativity. Now look, I'll just draw something that will fetch you mark. You get my point. Now a body of mass 100 kg. Oh, I wrote 10. Is placed in a lift. Find the reaction. See, what is the reaction they are asking me to find is this one. What is pulling this thing up is tension. The force on the rope is called tension. So that's the reaction they want me to find. The tension. And what is pulling this thing down is what? Is the weight. So if the lift is moving up, it means that this tension is greater than mg. That is what is happening there. Or if this one is moving down, it means the weight is greater than the tension. Because if the tension is greater, the direction depends on which one is greater. If it's going up, that means this one is bigger than this one. That's why it's pulling it. If it's coming down, that means the weight is bigger than tension. That is why it's pulling it. Do you understand? So don't forget, this is where we are going to use this one now. That summation of forces must be equal to MA. Now look, what is the question now? They want me to find something. Meanwhile, let me write the parameters out so that you can see. M is 100 kg, right? A body of mass 100 kg is placed in a lift. Find the reaction. They want me to find T, right? And the body, when the lift moves upward with an acceleration of 3.5 meters per second square, take G to be 9.8 meters per second. Now, what do you have here? What you have here is that I'm told the lift is moving up. If the lift is moving up, what does that mean? It means tension is bigger than this. So that means that what is the summation of forces? The bigger one minus the smaller one. What is the bigger one between T and mg? T, because it's moving up. So that means I have T minus the smaller one, mg. That is what I call summation of forces. Everything must always be equal to what? MA. I'm looking for T. So T will be equal to MA plus mg. You bring mg to the other side. So you can put, you know A already, you know M already, you know G. Put it there. Or you can even try to factorize and say M T equal M open bracket A plus G. What is M? M is 100. Open bracket A. A is 3.5 plus 9.8. So T will be equal to 3.5 plus 9.8 will give me what? 3.5 plus 9.8 will give me 13.3 multiplied by 100. 13.3 multiplied by 100, 1330 Newton. 1330 Newton. That is the tension. Let me write the next question. We are now in another question. Two particles of mass is 5 kg and 3 kg are connected by a light inelastic string passing over a smooth face pulley. Find the acceleration of the particle and the tension in the when the system is moving freely. Now, the two particles of mass, you can see draw diagram. I told you before. This is the first particle, mass 5 kg. This is the second one. You see, they are connected by light inelastic string passing over a smooth pulley. As you can see, with what I have here on the board. Then I say I have to find. There are two things I'm looking for in this place. Two things. Number one is find the acceleration, and number two is find the tension. So, of course, the force in a rope is called tension. Do you understand? Now, if this thing is suspended freely, 5 kg is bigger than 3 kg, so this one will be coming down. If this one, that means the weight of this one is greater than the weight of this one, so this one will be coming down. Do you understand? This one will be what? Going up. Why? This one will be going up because this is smaller. When this, they are both connected by a thing. So when this one is coming down, this one is what? Going up. Do you understand? And don't forget, summation of forces must be equal to NA. That is what we are going to be using here. Summation of forces must be equal to NA. Please take note of that. Now, what do I have? M1G. I'm talking about for this component now, for this one, M1G. Since it's coming down, it means that this weight is greater than the tension. What is pulling this thing up is the tension, right? What is pulling this one down is the weight. So summation of forces, the weight is greater than the tension. What is bigger, what is greater, we subtract what is smaller. So M1G minus T. That's the summation of forces. It must be equal to what? MA. It's equal to MA. And my M is M1. So what is M1? M1 is 5. So this is 50. 50 5 times. Oh, I'm not even giving G, but G is 9.8. G is always 9.8. So this is 50 multiplied by 9.8 minus the equal MA. M is 5. Do you understand? So 50 more. I don't know where I am seeing 50. 5. M is 5. So 5 times 9.8. 5 multiplied by 9.8. The answer will give me 49. The answer will give me 49. So this is 49 minus T is equal to 5A. Call that one equation 1. You are going to get a simultaneous equation since they are asking you to get two things actually. So come to this second one. Come to M2. In the case of M2, M2 is going up. In this case, so that means the tension in this rope is greater than the weight of M2. Do you understand? So summation of forces, the bigger one subtract the smaller one. That is what we call summation of forces. The bigger one minus the smaller one. T minus M2G is equal to summation of forces is always equal to MA. It's equal to MA, but don't forget your M2 is A. So this is T minus is 3. M2 is 3. So 3.9.8. 3.9.8 will give me 29.4. 29.4. M2 is what? M2 is 3. 3 times A. That's what I have. That's equation 2. So bring the two equations together. I have taught you how to solve equation using calculator. How to solve simultaneous equation using calculator. Or you can even solve this one. It's just a simultaneous equation. So now let's solve the simultaneous equation. I have I have 49 minus T equal 5A. Then I have T minus 29.4 equal 3A. I just add equation 1 and 2 together. equation 1, equation 2, add it together. How do I, why do I add? T minus T, this is minus T plus T, the answer is 0. Minus T plus T 0, you say T minus T 0, so I'll be left with 49 minus 29.4. 49 minus 29.4 will give me 19.6. Right? It will give me 19.6. Is equal to, I'm adding, this is 49 minus 29.19.6. 5 plus 3, 8. 8. So A will be equal to 19.6 all over 8. So 19.6 all over 8 will give me 2.45. 2.45 meter per second square. Don't forget its acceleration. Now to get A, don't forget from equation 2. T minus 29.4 equal 3A. So that means T is equal to 3A plus 29.4. That is what you are going to have, right? So this is T is equal to 3 is 3 times 2.45 plus 29.4. So 3 times 2.45, 3 multiplied by 2.45 plus 29.4. The answer is 36.75. 36.75 Newton. And that's the answer to this particular question. So that is the answer to this question. Now, let's go to the second one. The second one, that is 2018. That is question 2018, number what? Number 6B. So in 2020, you know you guys have not done MAT003 and 004 in 2020. So now to continue this, look at what will happen. Look at what will happen. I want to do 2018 question 6B. Look at this one. A dustbin of mass 30 kg rests on an inclined plane of an angle 30 degrees to the horizontal surface. The reaction of the inclined plane on the dustbin is 2780. Then find out this one. Find the acceleration of the dustbin if it moves down the plane. Then number 2, find the velocity attained after 5 seconds if it moves with an initial velocity of 25 meters per second. Now look at what will happen here. A dustbin of mass 30 kg, don't forget it is already an inclined plane problem, right? So it is an inclined plane problem. So what are we going to do? You are going to draw an inclined plane. The angle is 30 degrees. This is the mass 30 kg. Don't all what I told you still hold. The velocity downward, mg, the velocity, the component downward, the component of force downward. Then I told you it can be given a force, it may not be given, and the normal reaction is always this way, right? You know that. Now, what are we given? We are given mass. Mass is 30 kg. That is the first thing we are given. Rest on an inclined plane of angle theta equal 30 degrees. Second one, theta equal 30 degrees. So the horizontal surface, the reaction of the inclined plane on the dustbin is 27 Newton. They have told me that the reaction is 27 what? Newton. Find the what? Acceleration. Don't forget, I told you something. This is on a what? This is on an horizontal plane. Do you understand? They say find the acceleration of the dustbin if it moves down the plane. So if it's moving down the plane, friction opposes relative motion. So the frictional force will be acting in this direction. You have to note that. And don't forget, summation of forces must be equal to what? MA. Right? So by the special grace of Almighty God, what will now be the summation of forces here? What they say it's moving what? Downward. Find the acceleration of the dustbin if it moves what? Down the plane. If it moves down the plane, what does that mean? It is moving down. That means I have mg sine theta minus fk. Do you understand? That is the summation of force. The bigger one minus the smaller one. The bigger one is mg sine theta minus the smaller one fk. It has to be equal to what? ma. But what is frictional force? Frictional force Fk is equal to what? Coefficient of friction multiplied by the normal reaction. What is coefficient of friction in this case? Coefficient of friction in this case, you are not giving, you have to find it. The answer is tan theta. And that is tan 30. So tan 30 is 1 divided root 3. 1 divided root 3 is equal to what? Is equal to 0.5774. Is 0.5774. That is what I have on my calculator here. You can also confirm that yourself. So now, Fk, frictional force, I'm looking for frictional force first, is equal to mu r, that is 0.5774, multiplied by r. R is what? R is 27. We are giving normal reaction. R is 27, which is equal to 0.5774 multiplied by 27. You have 9 root 3. 9 root 3 is equal to what? 15.5885. 15.5885 Newton. That is the frictional force you have. So at the end of the day, I have what? Mg sine theta minus Fk equal ma. What is m? M is 30. 30 multiplied by 9.8. Sine theta, sine 30. Right? Sine 30 is 1/2. Minus the frictional force. We've calculated that already. That is 15.5885. 15.5885 from my calculator here is equal to ma. M is 30 multiplied by a. Don't forget, that is what they asked me to what? To find. So what do I have here? I have 30. Of course, I will need to use calculator here so as to get an answer. 30 multiplied by 9.8 multiplied by sine 30. The answer is 147. So this is 147 minus 15.5885 equal 38. 147 minus 15.5885. The answer is 131.4115. 131.4115 equal 38. Divide both sides by 30. Divide both sides by 30. We have a 4.38. So 4.38 meter per second square. That is the acceleration we have to find. Now the second one, II. Find the velocity attained after 5 seconds. If it moves with an initial velocity of what? 25 meter per second. Don't forget, we just need to use one equation of motion, V equal U plus AT. So V, that is what they asked us to find. The initial velocity has been given to you here, 25 meter per second. If the initial velocity is 25 meter per second, so initial velocity is 25 plus A. You just look for A now, 4.38. T is 5. So velocity will now be 25 plus 4.38 times 5. 4.38 multiplied by 5. The answer is 21.9. 21.9. So velocity will now be 46.9 meter per second. And of course, it's approximately equal to 47 meter per second. That is for this question. You can see that this question is actually, or this mechanics part is very simple. You should be able to get an answer in this case. If you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, I beg of you, please do subscribe, share to people that are needing this course. Thank you very much. So now for this one, we are talking about, we have moved to another part now. 3 points A, B, and C are uniquely oriented in space with coordinate alpha -1, 2, 524 and 14 beta 10 respectively. Find the value of alpha and beta so that the 3 points are collinear. We are talking about collinearity. Now, there are two ways we define collinearity. Number one is that for these 3 points, A, B, C to be collinear, you get my point. It means that AB, the vector of AB cross vector of AC must be 0. You can use this method and solve and get an answer. You will get alpha, you will get beta. But another method is AB must be equal to a constant. AB, vector AB must be equal to a scalar. We call it scalar or constant, vector AC. If we divide by AC, you have AB all over AC must be equal to a constant. Do you understand? I want to use this method because this one is quite fast. It's faster than this one. This one you can use it, you can try it, you will get your answer. This one is cross product. Do you understand? If you don't know how to get AB and AC, I'm going to do it. Of course, we have to get it to solve this one. So I'm going to do it, you will see it, you will have it, then you just do cross product. Do you understand my point? Now let's solve. Now, what is A? Vector A is alpha minus 1, 2. Vector B is 5, 2, 4. This is 2019 question 6A. Then vector C is equal to 14 beta 10. That is what you have. Now, what is AB? AB means that you will do B minus A, that is vector B minus vector A. That is, you will subtract this, that is, you have 5, 2, 4 minus alpha, minus 1, 2. 5 minus alpha, that is what I have. 2 minus 1, that is 3. 4 minus 2, the answer is 2. That is what you have there. Now, that is what you have there. Now, what will happen next? I need to find what AC. What is AC? C minus A. Right? What is C minus A? C is what? 14 beta 10 minus A alpha minus 1, 2 is equal to 14 minus alpha. 14 minus alpha is still 14 minus alpha. Beta minus 1, that's beta plus 1. And 10 minus 2, the answer is what? 8. I will now take the ratio component y. This is ratio. Vector AB ratio AC must give me a constant. That is for a condition for collinearity. Or you use this one. So you can see, you will now find the cross product of these two. Actually, let me just show you. I'm not solving it. You can solve it yourself. IJK. AB is what? 5 minus alpha 3, 2. So you have 5 minus alpha 3, 2. This one is what? 14 minus alpha beta plus 1 and 8 equated to 0. You find the determinant. After finding the determinant, equate it to 0. Then equate component wise to 0. Equate each of the the coefficient component wise to 0. Then you get your alpha and beta. Do you understand? But let's continue with this one. This one means ratio. The first component here is 5 minus alpha. It means that 5 minus alpha all over 14 minus alpha. It must be equal to 3 all over beta plus 1. And it must be equal to 2 all over 8. This is the constant. This is the scalar we are talking about. 2 over 8. So if this one is equal to this, it means that if they say 5 plus 5 is equal to 6 plus 4 is equal to 10, it means that 5 plus 5 is actually equal to 10, and 6 plus 4 is also equal to 10. So that's what we are going to do here. Do you understand my point? Now, what am I going to do here? This is what I'm going to do here. I have a 5 minus alpha all over 14 minus alpha is equal to 2 over 8. 2 over 8 is 1 over 4. Cross multiply. 4 will multiply all this one. 4 will multiply 4 minus this one. 1 will multiply all this one. 14 minus alpha. This is 20 minus 4 alpha equal 14 minus alpha. Collect like terms. Let this one come here. Let this one go there. 20 minus 14 20 minus 14 will give me 6, because 14 plus 6 will give me 20. 4 alpha minus alpha will give me 3 alpha. I'll divide both sides by 3. The alpha is 2. That is the first one. I've gotten alpha. Alpha is 2. For beta, I just have 3 all over beta plus 1 must also be equal to 2 over 8. 2 over 8 is 1 over 4. Cross multiply. Beta plus 1 equals 12. I have beta plus 1 times 1 is beta plus 1. 3 times 4 will give me 12. So beta is equal to 12 minus 1. Beta is 11. So alpha 2, beta 11. So that is the value of alpha and beta they asked me to determine in the question. Now let's move to the next one, question 6b. 2019. This one is 7 marks. The one we just finished now is 8 marks. 8 marks. So the second one is 7 marks, and this is it. Now, a car of mass 160 kg. The mass of the car is what? 160 kg. Is placed on a rough horizontal road with coefficient of friction. Coefficient of friction is 0.5. Of course, find the driving force or driving force. That's what they want to write. That's a mistake. Find the driving force. Find the driving force when the car moves with an acceleration of 5 meters per second. They want you to get the driving force. Now, don't forget, I have told you many times, even in this video, that what's it called? Frictional force opposes what? Relative motion. Imagine this is the vehicle. Imagine this is the vehicle. I don't know how to draw a vehicle again. So imagine this is the vehicle. If it's moving this way, a force is dragging it. That is what they want us to find. Find the driving force. That is the minimum force that will make this vehicle to move. And if it's moving in this direction, frictional force is opposing the relative motion. It's moving it backward. Do you understand? Now don't forget, summation of forces must be equal to what? MA. It is very important for you to note that. So what does that mean? If this one is moving force, find the driving force F. This is what they want me to find, F. When the car moves with an acceleration of 5 meters per second square, when the car moves with an acceleration of 5 meters per second square, the summation of force here is what? F minus Fk, because it's moving this way. The force is greater than the frictional force. That's what I told you. The bigger one we subtract the smaller one, and it will be equal to A. That is the summation of force. So that I have F minus Fk must be equal to MA. So what is F? That's MA plus Fk, right? I have been given frictional force already. Do you understand my point? Frictional coefficient of friction is 0.5. So this is actually F is equal to MA plus coefficient of friction mg. You know, don't forget, frictional force is what? Mu r. R is the common what's it called? Is the reaction, normal reaction. The normal reaction here is acting towards the R and is exerting the weight mg. So the common reaction here is mg. Do you understand? So I have F to be equal to MA. MA is what? MA is I've been given acceleration from that I, since I've been given acceleration to be 5 meters per second square. So 5 meters per second square. So I have M. M is 160 multiplied by what? 5. Plus frictional force is 0.5 multiplied by M, 160 multiplied by G. G is 9.8. If you are not giving G, you know G to be 9.8 already. So F equal, you can factorize M to have A plus coefficient of friction times G. Anyone you want to do is okay. Do you understand? Just make sure you get the answer. So I have 160 multiplied by 5 plus 0.5 plus the answer is 1584. 1584 Newton. That is the driving force they asked us to calculate. The second one, they asked me to find when it has a uniform speed of 3 meters per second square. When the speed is uniform, what does that mean? acceleration is 0. When it is moving with a uniform velocity, it indicates that the acceleration is 0. So that means in this case acceleration is 0. So that means F will just be exactly Fk, which is mu k mg. What is mu k? Mu is 0.5 multiplied by 160 multiplied by 9.8 is 0.5 multiplied by 160, 0.5 multiplied by 160 multiplied by 9.8, 784 Newton. Don't forget, whenever a vehicle is moving with a uniform velocity, it means the acceleration is 0. So when you put acceleration to be 0 here, you will be anything times 0 is 0, you will be left with this one. And this is the answer. Now let's answer the third one. For the third one, 5AI. This is 2018 question. This is 2018 question 5AI. It says find the area of the triangle whose two adjacent sides are given as this. They are given as A equal to I minus 3J plus K, and then the second one B equal to I plus 3J minus 2K. That is what we are given. To be equal to 2I minus 3J plus K and B equal to I plus 3J minus 2K. What happened here? What happened here is that we want to find the area. The area of the triangle will be 1 over 2. The first, they say that most two adjacent sides multiplied by the cross product of the two adjacent sides. That is what we are going to do to solve this question. Now A will be equal to 1 over 2. What is, let's first find the cross product of AB. A cross B. This is IJK. IJK, so I have 2 minus 3, 1, 2, 3 minus 2. So this is plus minus plus. We are doing matrices, we are doing determinants. So this is I. This times this, that is 6. I'm not wasting time. What I'm just doing here is determinant and matrices. 6 minus 3 minus J minus 4 minus 2 plus K. I have 6 plus 6. So 6 minus 3 is 3. That is 3I. Minus 4 minus 6 minus 6. That is plus 6J. 6 plus 6 is 12 plus 12K. So that means the area will be equal to 1 over 2 3I plus 6J plus 12K. And that will be the answer. Or you do it this way, you will use this 1 over 2 to multiply through. So that you have 3 over 2I plus 3J plus 6K. That is the answer to this question. Now the next one. The next one, 5AII. Show that the vector A, which is equal to 3I minus 5J plus 6K, and vector B, which is equal to 2I plus 3J minus 2K, and vector C, which is equal to minus I plus 8J minus 8K, are coplanar. We want to show that this is coplanar. And what is for 3 vectors to be coplanar? What is the condition needed? Vector triple product. So what do we have? Or scalar triple product. You have this is scalar triple product. So this one must be equal to 0. That is the condition we have. If you want to show that this vector are coplanar, this thing, by the time you calculate this, it must be equal to 0. If you don't get 0, two things are involved. It's either you have done rubbish with confidence or the question is wrong. Now, let's do B cross C. Cross product. B cross C is IJK. What is vector B? Vector B is 2, 3, negative 2. Vector C is what? Minus 1, 8, negative 8. This is I. This time this is minus 24. This time this is plus 16. Minus J. I am just finding the terminal. In case you don't understand what I'm doing, this is plus, minus, plus. So when I take I remove this row and this column. So I'm left with 3 minus 2, 8 minus 8. And this one you have here, you will just do 3 times 8 minus 24 minus 8 times minus 2 minus 16. But there is one minus already. Minus times minus gives plus. That's why I have plus 16. The same thing happens to this one. You will now remove all this line you have here. You will start again at the middle. So at the middle, I'll remove the middle row and the first column. So I'll be left with 2 times minus 8 minus 2 times minus 8 to give me minus 16 minus 1 times minus 2. The answer is 2. So now plus k. 2 times 8, 16. 16 plus 3. That is the next thing I have. 16 plus 3. Minus 24 plus 16 is minus 8. This is minus 8i. Minus this one is minus 18. Minus times minus will give me plus. Plus 8j plus what? 19k. That is the cross product of B and C. Now we want to do A dot B cross C. So actually, when you now do A dot B cross C, it means that you will multiply, you will do the dot product of A and AB cross C. The dot product of A is what? 3i minus 5j plus 6k dot 8i plus minus 8i plus 8j plus 19k. So in reality, let me tell you what I'm doing. There is another method to solve this. This is actually a long method. It's actually a long method. But in case you don't know how to do what's called cross product, that's why I've done it. You know, I've done it before. This is the second example. Then you now do dot product. You will see dot product now. But I'll show you the second example actually. Now you now have they will multiply component wise. 3 times minus 8 minus 24. Minus 5 times 8 minus 40. 6 times 19. 6 multiplied by 19 will give me what? The answer is 114. Oh, this is 18. Minus 16 minus 2 is minus 18. Minus 18 times 1 is 18. 5 times 18. The answer is actually 90. The answer is actually 90. So now, how do I see my mistake? Let me tell you how I see my mistake. I look at it that if I do 40 plus 24, the answer will give me 64. 64 plus minus 64 plus 114 will not give me 0. So that means I'm doing rubbish with confidence. So I have to check. Do you understand? So now minus 24 minus 90, the answer will give me minus 114. Minus 114 plus 114, the answer is 0. Now let me now show you the alternative method of solving this. This is a long method. It's a long method of solving. So now the alternative method of solving this, A dot B cross C, is you put A first. A is 3 minus 5, 6. B 2, 3 minus 2. Then C minus 1, 8 minus 8. solve the determinant, like evaluate the determinant of this matrix. You can use calculator to even evaluate it. By the time you evaluate the determinant of this matrix, you know how to. You see the way I evaluated this one. So let me just show you the first term, plus, minus, plus. This is 3, open bracket. So you remove the first row and the first column. You have 3 times 8 minus 24. This times this plus 16. Do you get that? Now minus times minus will give me plus, so that I have plus 5. Do you see that? Do you see what I'm doing? Then you remove this middle, remove this one. It will remain 2 minus 2, 1 minus 1. 2 times minus 8 minus 24. This times this minus 2. Now don't forget 2 times minus rubbish. 2 times minus 8 is minus 16. Minus 1 times minus 2 will give me 2. I have this. Then I have the last thing I have is plus 6. Now I now have plus 6. Then it becomes so when I'm on plus 6, I'll do the same thing too. Remove this. This is 6. Remove this one and this one. You will let 2 times 8, 16. Minus, it will always be diagonal, multiply diagonal, but the major diagonal first before the other one, minus the minor diagonal. 2 times 8 is 16, minus 1 times 3 is minus 3. Minus times minus will give me plus. You can use your calculator to verify the rest, you will get 0. So this is Coplanar. Do you understand? So please kindly subscribe. It doesn't bite. Please, 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 I beg of you. Thank you very much. Yeah, yeah. A particle moving in a straight line has an acceleration of 3t minus 4. Acceleration equals 3t minus 4 at any time c. The particle is literally 1 meter from 0, a fixed point on the line with a velocity of 2 meters per second. Right? Now to find the time when the velocity is 0. The first thing you need to know is that one thing you need to recall, I told you, whenever you have displacement or what we call position and you want to get velocity, you differentiate. If you have velocity and you want to get acceleration, you differentiate the second time. If you have acceleration and you want to get velocity, integrate. If you have velocity, you want to get displacement, integrate. So I want to get velocity here. I have to integrate this. Integrating both sides. You know, this is dv over dt. Acceleration is differentiating the velocity with respect to time, which is equal to 3t minus 4. So dv is equal to 3t minus 4 dt. Integrate both sides. Integrate dv, integrate 3t minus 4 dt. So when you integrate dv, or let me just give you a simple way here, in case you don't understand what I mean, just integrate both sides. If you integrate acceleration, the answer is velocity. So integrate dv, the answer is v, just integrating both sides. Integrate 3t squared. I have given you how to integrate. I have showed you how to integrate in 002. This is 3t. The power is what? The power of t here is 1. Add 1 to the power. Divide by everything in that power. 1 plus 1. So this is 3t squared over 2. So that means if you integrate 3t, the answer is 3t squared over 2 minus 4. Whenever you have a constant, it means t is raised to the power of 0. It means t is what? Raised to the power of 0. Anything raised to the power of 0 is 1. 4 times 1, 4. So add 1 all over 0 plus 1. Or 4t raised to the power 1 over 1. 40 divided by 1, the answer is 40. So I don't need to do that, or you just know. If you are told to integrate any constant, just put s or t or what you are integrating with respect to beside it. Integrate 4, you have 40. But there is one thing that is always in an integral, a constant. Whenever you are done integrating, always remember to put constant. That is constant of integration. You will now find the t now. You will find the constant first. You need to find what? Constant first. How do you find the constant? You are told that the particle is initially 1 meter from 0, a fixed point on the line with a velocity of 2 meters per second. It means when t is 0, velocity is 2 meters per second. So put it there. Put t to be 0, put velocity to be 2. So this is 2 equal to, this one is 0. 3 times 0 is 0. 4 times 0 is 0, so I have 0 minus 0, which is 0 plus k. That means k is 2. it means that k is equal to what? 2. So it means now that velocity is equal to what? 3t squared minus 2 minus 4t plus 2. That is the velocity, meter per second. Now find the time when, so, and I just want to answer the question now. Find the time when the velocity is 0. So put velocity to 0 and find the time. So it means that 3t squared all over 2 minus 4t plus 2 equals 0, because velocity is 0, so all this one must be equal to 0. Multiply through by 2 so that to clear fraction, this one will be 3t squared minus 8t plus 4 equals 0. So you will solve this quadratic equation. You will solve what? This quadratic equation and get t. Factorize, or you just use calculator to find the answer. This is 3t squared minus 6t minus 2t plus 4 equal to 0. You know, you find 3 times 4, 3t squared times 4, that is 12t squared. You will now say, what will you multiply together that will give you 12? When you add it, you will have this middle minus 8. The answer is minus 6 and 2. Minus 6 times minus will give me 12. But if I add it together, I will have minus 6. So that's why I replace this minus 8 with minus 6. Minus what is common here? 3t is common. I have t minus 2. If you open the bracket, you will get exactly this. Minus 2 is common here as well. You will be left with t minus 2. If you open the bracket, you will get what I'm saying now. T minus 2 is common, just have t minus 2. Then 3t minus 2 equals 0. So you know how to solve the quadratic equation. So t equal to or 2 over 3. T equal to or 2 over 3. So that means when the velocity is 0, the time, find the time. So this is when t equal to 2 seconds or when t equal to over 3 seconds. The velocity is what? 0. Remember to put unit though. So the velocity is 0. Now, the second one. You are now told to find the displacement. Don't forget that thing I wrote for you. If you have velocity, to find the displacement, you have to integrate. Now, find also the displacement of the particle from 0 when t equals 3 seconds. Now, from velocity to do I, velocity is equal to what? The velocity is equal to this one, 3t squared minus 2 minus 4t plus 2. Integrate both sides. Integrate velocity. This is d of s. ds means s stands for the displacement. Is equal to integral of all these ones, 3t squared over 2 minus 4t plus 2 dt. If you integrate this one will stand for displacement. This s denotes displacement, like it denotes displacement. If you integrate velocity, you get displacement. When you integrate, you get displacement. Integrate this one, you add 1 to this power, 2 plus 1, 3 divided by, 2 is already down before. Then divided by another 3, that's 3t squared, 3t raised to power 3 over 6. This one will become, just let this 3 over 2 be first. Multiply by, integrate t squared. The answer is t raised to power 3 over 3, because you will add 1 to the power, 2 plus 1, 3, all over that power 3, minus 4t. Add 1 to the power of t, that is t raised to power 2, all over 2. 4t squared over 2 plus, whenever you have a constant, put t beside it, 2t plus, don't forget, when you are integrating 2, the answer is 2t plus a constant of integration. Now to finish this, I will have, now look at what I'm going to get. S will be equal to 3 cancel 3, I'm left with 3 t raised to power 3 over 2 minus 2t squared plus what? 2t plus k. I need to find this k, that constant of integration. To find this k, what happened? To find this k, the constant of integration, when t is 0, s, you say the particle is initially 1 meter from 0, s is equal to 1 meter, the displacement is 1 meter when t is 0. When t is equal to 0, s is equal to 1. Put it there. So this one is 1 equal, this one is 0 minus 0 plus 0 plus k. So the answer is 0 plus 2. That means k is 1. So that means s is actually equal to t raised to power 3 over 2 minus 2t squared plus 2t plus 1. That is the displacement. But don't forget, they say I should find the displacement when t equals 3. So put t to be 3 to get the answer. So now S will be equal to, anywhere you see t, put 3, because that's what they say I should find. The displacement when t is 3 seconds. So this is 3 raised to power 3, everything over 2, minus 2 3 squared plus 2 times 3 plus 1. 3 raised to power 3 is 27. I have 27 over 2 minus 3 squared is 9. 9 times 2, 18. 18 plus 6 plus 1. S equal 27 over 2 minus 18 plus 6. The answer is minus 12. Minus 12 plus 1. The answer is minus 11. By the time you can just use calculator, 27 over 2 minus 11. The answer is 27 minus 22, which is 5 over 2 meter. That is 2.5. 2.5 meter. That is the answer to that question. The next one. The next one is 2018 question 6A. 2018 question number 6A. And what is that one telling us? It says that a stone is dropped from a height of 40 meters above the ground. Height is 40 meters above the ground, right? Find the time taken for the stone to reach is what? To reach the ground. They want me to find t. It is equation of motion I'm going to use. I hope you still recall all those equations of motion with respect to height. So S equal ut plus half at squared, or you say h equal ut plus half, but a is now g. Don't forget, I'm using S equal ut plus half at squared. So h is now height, g, a is g. And don't forget, it is dropping, so it is acting with in favor of gravity. Assuming it is being thrown, it is acting against gravity. This one would have become negative g. Do you understand? So it's dropping, it's acting with respect to gravity, like it's acting in favor of gravity. Now, the initial velocity is 0. I told this one is 40. 40 equal initial velocity is 0 because it is being dropped. Before they drop it, the initial velocity, it is being old before they drop it. The initial velocity is 0 plus half multiplied by g. You are not giving g, but take g to be 10. 10 meters per second, although you are supposed to be giving g. In the question, they would have stated it out clearly for you. Take g to be 9.8 or 10. So me, I'm taking g to be 10. T squared. So this is 40 equal 5 t squared. Divide both side by 5. The answer will be 8. So t equals square root of 8. And square root of 8 will be equal to what? 2 root 2. But what is 2 root 2? 2 times 1.414. Square root of 8. 2 root 2, 2 times 1.1. That is 2.828. 2.828 seconds. Or let me put it to 2 decimal place, 2.8283 seconds. That is what we have for that question. Now, it remains the II part. I think I'm going to rub off this side. So, for the II, I have find the speed of the stone as it reached the ground. That is the final velocity. I'm going to also use the equation of motion of v square equal u square plus 2gh. Now, the first question I'm to ask is that how do I know it is this one I will use? You have to check the parameters you have. You can't use v equal u plus at because you are not giving u like v in the question, right? You can't use v square equal, for this first question, I'm talking about this first question, u square plus 2gs, right? You are not giving this one, and this is what you are looking for. So the third one you have to use is s equal to plus half h square, which is h equal what? ut plus half gt square. Do you understand? That is what you can use. In this case too, you look for the formula to use. Do you understand? You check all those equation of motion you have, the formula that fits in most. That is what you should use. If there's another formula that fits in, if you use it, you will still arrive at the same answer. Do you understand my point? So I want to find v. V square is equal to initial velocity is still 0 plus 2 times 10 times height. Height is what? 40. It has been given from the question. So v square is equal to what? 20 times 40. 20 times 40 is 800. So v equal 10 root what? 2, or you say 4, 20 root 10 root 8, or 20 root 2. 20 root 2 is equal to what? 20 times root 2 times 1.114. 28.28. 28.28 meter per seconds. And this is the answer for this question we just finished now. Now, the last question, question 2018, 6C. Question 2018, question 6C. Now, you are told to resolve this force. So for this F1 and F2 at 0.0, this is the 0.0 here, as shown below. This is it. Now, find the resultant and vertical component of the what? Resultant force. Now, what happened here? Let us see what will happen. So 6C, you know how to do it. So let's call this place horizontal component. Fx. That is horizontal component of the force. Then vertical component. Fy. Now for the we have F1. F1 is 5 Newton. That is for the first force. F2 is what? 35 Newton. That is the second one. Then the total summation of Fx. So summation of all Fs, summation of Fy. Now for this one, for F1, where does F1 falls? The first thing you need to note is that where does F1 falls? F1 falls at this place. Now, this is positive y-axis, isn't it? This is positive y-axis. This is negative s-axis. Do you understand? This is positive s-axis. Assuming there is a downward slope here, then this one would have been positive y-axis. F1 falls at negative s-axis. That means the horizontal component will be negative. It falls at the positive y-axis. The vertical component will be positive. But meanwhile, where is the horizontal? This is the horizontal. Where is the vertical? This is the vertical. Imagine you want to find this one now. Let's call this place maybe S. If you want to find S, and this 5 Newton is this place here, 5 Newton. If you want to get S, this is opposite. This is opposite. So this is adjacent. This is where this right angle is facing is hypotenuse. Where this one is facing is opposite. Where this one is facing is adjacent. So yeah, I have opposite, which is the S I'm looking for. Then I have hypotenuse. The adjacent. This is opposite. I have adjacent and hypotenuse. What am I going to use from the trigonometry? I'll use cos, because cos theta is what? Adjacent over hypotenuse. If you look at it now, I have cos theta, that is cos 30, will be equal to adjacent, because opposite is here, adjacent is x over hypotenuse 5. Cross multiply, L1 times s, 5 cos 30, 5 cos 30. Do you understand? That is the answer I have here. So don't forget, this place will be 5 cos 30, but it is at the what? Negative x-axis. So this is minus 5 cos 30. You don't need to even calculate for this one. You just need to confirm that, okay, this is positive, so this one will be positive. If this one is cos, the next one will be sine. So this is 5 sine 30. You can confirm that yourself. If you want to find the vertical component, it's so obvious. Opposite hypotenuse, you use sine, because opposite over hypotenuse is what? Sine. In SOHCAHTOA. Do you understand? I have done for F1, I have resolved for F1. Now for the second one, F2, it's so fortunate that F2 falls where we have the positive x-axis, we have the positive y-axis, so they are both positive in that place. So now what will be the component? Draw this one down. If you draw this one down, sum of angle here will be 90. Sum of angle at the point is 360, but when it's divided into 4, it will be 90, 90, 90. If this place is 45, then this place will also be 45. You might decide to even draw it here, whichever one you want. Do you understand? Just make sure you are not making any mistake. So this is the horizontal component, this is the vertical component. This is 35 Newton. So to get x and 35, this is opposite. Opposite is what? Hypotenuse. Opposite over what's it called? Over hypotenuse is sine. But adjacent over hypotenuse is cos. If I do cos 45 now, cos 45 will be equal to what? Adjacent. This is x over hypotenuse 35. If you cross multiply, x will be 35 cos 45. That will be what will be in the horizontal component. So this one will be 35 cos 45. Then you have what? 35 sine 45. That would be the answer. So you will now sum up. You will sum these two things together. You will sum minus 5 cos 30 plus 35 cos 45. Minus 5 cos 30 plus 35 cos 45. So the answer is 20.4186. Let's leave our answer in 4 decimal place. Then this one, I have 5 sine 30 plus 35 sine 45. The answer is 27.2487. Don't forget, all these ones are measured in Newton. You should find a way of writing it there. When you write fx, maybe I should have written fx horizontal component measured in Newton, so that I will not be penalized for that vertical component, since the component of force measured in Newton. So the horizontal, they say find the horizontal and vertical component of the resultant force. This is the horizontal component of the resultant force. This is the vertical component of the resultant force. Now the next question that I want you to do is find the magnitude of the resultant force. So II. So to find the magnitude of the resultant force, this is II. Find the magnitude of the resultant force. So resultant force will be equal to the magnitude of the vertical component, horizontal component square plus vertical component square. So R will be equal to, what is the horizontal component square? 20.4186 all square plus 27.2487 all square. That is what we are going to have. So R will now be equal to, I'm going to leave my answer in 2 decimal place. So 20.4186 square plus 27.2487 square. The answer is 34.05. 34.05 Newton. So that is the answer to the first question. To the second question. Now, the third one, find the angle for which the resultant force meets with the horizontal. So find the angle. To find the angle, you use tan theta. Tan theta equals the summation of the horizontal component all over summation of the vertical component. Or you say theta equal half tan. Half tan of summation of the horizontal component all over summation of the vertical component. So this one will be equal to theta, which is equal to half tan of summation of the horizontal component, that is 27.2487 all over summation of the vertical component 20.2487. 4186. So theta will be equal to arctan of 27.2487 all over 20.4186. 53 points. They asked me to round off to the nearest degree. So this is actually equal to 53 degrees. I have 53.15, but to the nearest degree, the answer is 53 degrees. And that's all for metrics. I hope you do understand all what we have done so far. If you don't understand anywhere there, please replay the video. Put in effort. Make sure you understand, or at least all these ones you are watching. If you should come out in your exam, you should not miss it. Do you understand? Remember to subscribe, I beg of you, and please share this video. Thank you very much.